Hello, this is Marc Geller, Kier Eagan on Severance, and you're listening to Hobo Radio. Their work is mysterious and important.
All right, well, before we start, I feel like you deserve a proper intro, so... Marc Geller, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you for
having me. Really appreciate it.
When you said that, I thought you were going to sing the Kier song for a minute.
Oh, man, if I had the pipes for it, I certainly... That was, by the way, the drum line was playing the Kier hymn, right?
They were.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought I caught that. That was really nice. Well, yeah, so I'm really excited to talk to you. This is a really interesting interview, I feel like, because it kind of reminds me... Years ago, I interviewed Mark Pellegrino, he played Jacob on Lost. And I feel like you both have similar characters where your character is talked about a lot more than seen. And it also is like the heart of the mythology of the show. So you're embodying this guy that we hear about a lot, but we don't really see that much. And so I was curious, one, what that's like for you, and two, when you became involved in the show, like in how you were cast.
I became involved in very beginning of 2020. I went on an audition, which consisted of going to the studio and having a meeting in Ben's office with Ben and Dan Erickson, the writer, and one of the producers. And there were many other people there, all of us around the same age, but all very different types. After I left, I'm sure there were many more. I just happened to see about 10 when I was there. The interview went very well. We got along very well. At that point, Kier was just going to be pretty much a single painting. I assume probably the one that you see in MDR on the wall all the time. I'm not sure if that's the one. But that continued to develop. And we did a lot of paintings, a lot of artwork. And then about 6 months in to the filming process in 2020, I got a message from my agent that they had contacted my agent and asked if I'd be interested in auditioning to play my voice, because I had been cast as a face, initially. So I said, yes, I'll audition to play my voice. And I made a tape for them and sent it in, and they liked it. And so I then became the voice of Kier as well. And that's how all that happened.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. So initially, as far as you knew, like, yeah, it was just you were sort of giving them likeness rights, basically in the beginning, yeah. Yeah. And then the voice. So the first time we hear the voice, it's when they go to the perpetuity wing. Right. It's sort of the Hall of Presidents of former, all the people who've run Lumon. And it's like the statue or whatever it is of Kier talks. And I do want to talk to you about the voice, because it is a very distinct voice that you chose.
Well, we were in the recording studio for that one, Ben and I, and he wanted him to sound very, very old and on his deathbed, like he was making this recording just before he died on some like old Edison reel or something. So that's my version of Kier being in his 90s and about ready to die.
Yeah, which it does. I think you captured that completely. Like, I definitely think that is the sound of it.
And then,
and that one, he's like talking about the tempers, right? I'm trying to remember the.
Yes, it's a long speech about going into the cave and taming the tempers, and it's all done over footage of Petey walking through the snow until he dies, whereas his reintegration is malfunctioning. But yes, and then in season 2. In the Ortbo episode, I do another one, the whole thing about Dieter, that the reading from the book, my voice is over their voice. And in that one, I don't sound quite as old. I'm not just on my deathbed for that one. And then finally bringing us up to the finale, it's a much younger Kier voice.
And now, did they keep you up to date? Like, are you receiving information? Do they tell you like what's in the scripts, or do you just kind of come in and only have your part? Like, what do you know each time you come in to record it?
Not that much. I mean, they'll tell me anything I want to know, that relates to it. But when I came in for the finale episode, I probably had about 6 pages of the script. So my stuff was on maybe 2. And then I had about 4 other pages that told me some things that were huge spoilers for the finale that I knew.
And then, so yeah, in the finale, we get the Chicago Bulls entrance music, and now your Hall of Presidents statue has some animatronics to it. But for you, so were you on set? Like, were you saying your lines in real time? Okay. And so it's like you and Tramell Tillman actually got to play off of each other.
Except I was around the corner. He couldn't physically see me. He could only see the mannequin, just because we originally rehearsed it with me in the room, but the sound was a problem with the reverberation of my voice and then the actual voice on the microphone. So I was around the corner in an area where the director and such watch from, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Tramell was talking to the mannequin. I had a monitor in front of me, so I could see Tramell and the mannequin, but Tramell couldn't see me.
In some ways, too, I think that adds to it, because I think a lot of the charm of this scene is that the timing isn't quite right. That it's this very clear, almost like Catskills-esque, material that you're both doing, but it's like you're pre-recorded, so it's like not. It's not. I don't know that it would land anyway, but it also just feels all slightly off, which I think made.
I think that's very intentional.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. But yeah. So.
Right down to Tramell.
I'm curious.
Even the end is a second late. It's like it's all intentional.
The hard cut of the music, and he's a few seconds late. Yes, phenomenal. Like all of it. But I don't know if this matters to you or if you thought about it, but I was curious because, you've kind of laid it out. Of the first one, it's an old recording, probably on his deathbed. The second one is just dramatic license. But what do you think this is? Is this AI? Is this a computer recreation of his voice? Because, obviously these are specific lines. So, what in your mind do you think this recording is?
I don't know. And if I did know, I couldn't tell you.
Sure.
So let's just say I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah. But is that, do you make those decisions even if they didn't tell you to play it?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I didn't know if that would affect the performance of like how you're going to deliver the lines, depending on what you.
It does for me anyway. I don't know if it reads to the audience, but it does for me.
And how much do you personally track the history of Kier? Do you follow all this? Are you aware that he eats 3 eggs and milk for breakfast? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you personally are keeping track of all the mythology.
I read everything online, and yeah.
Okay. What is your? Well, maybe that would like. Would you mind would you describe the character to me as you see Kier? Like, who is he?
An entrepreneur, someone who, in the latter half of the 1800s, while working in an ether factory, made some type of discovery and built a business on it. That's pretty much all I can really say without fear of saying the wrong thing.
We also know there's something called a Kiernival. We don't entirely know what that was.
It's a carnival
that was
dedicated to Kier.
Yeah, like I kind of picture him as, maybe a little snake oil salesman-y or doing some kind of medicine man presentation at a Kiernival.
I personally would definitely agree with you on that. I definitely think he sold some kind of snake oil in the back of a cart.
Yeah, I think it's also tricky because he's this, like godlike figure now. It does feel like a lot of the information about him, I don't know how reliable we can view it. It's through paintings or it's through stories. So I think there's a question of how much of it is accurate at all.
And it's filtered through Lumon. It's what they want you to know.
Right.
as everything.
And they seem to be adding that was the thing in the retreat that seemed like new canon. I think they call it like that. They someone might be writing this stuff also somewhere.
Well, in the retreat, we get to see pregnant Kier, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know that existed, so that was fun. First, I thought it was just fat Kier, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I was like, oh, I get it. We're in the birthing thing, and it's like a fertility symbol.
Yeah. Which is, do you see them when they're on the show, or do they show you anything ahead of time, like all the artwork?
Oh, I've seen some of it. I've seen a lot of it before you guys see it. Not all of it. But just by virtue of being on set, sometimes I see it because it's there. They don't run it by me or anything like that. But I have seen a lot of it.
You're never posing. They never call you in. Well, how did they make the statue?
I do pose. The very first thing, one of the very first things I ever did in I think it was October or November of 2020. I went to the studio and did a 10-hour photo shoot.
Oh my God.
And because we were still wearing masks and it was in the midst of COVID, I had grown my beard really long and my hair was really long because I wasn't doing anything. So I figured they might need it. I'll just keep growing it. And so I went in and I'd gone in a couple times prior to be fitted for some things, Civil War uniforms for paintings and period costumes. So during this 10-hour photo shoot, I put on different costumes and they would photograph me. And then between each, they would cut my beard a little more, cut my hair a little more. They would dye it blacker and blacker. So by the end of the night, when I left, I had very short hair. I was clean shaven and my hair was black. So they have pictures of me at every age, basically. And
we have seen some of the younger photos and stuff. I think I want to. Yeah, because is it? Does Cobell have a younger Kier? I want to say maybe.
Yeah, the one it's in her shrine, and it's also in a little wallet she has at her desk. It's the one of me. And that was actually a photo we took because they had dyed the beard and the hair black by that point. So that was
and then it's a fun thing too. And I see on Instagram and stuff, you'll post it of now you're also getting a lot of fan imagery as well.
Yeah.
People
we have really talented fans and I'm getting a lot of artwork done by them, which is all on my wall. Actually, they're all so good. I hang them all up.
Well, what has this been like for you? I mean, this has got to be a very singular experience, I would feel but this has got to be kind of a cool experience. This show has really blown up this year. So what has the reaction been for you personally?
It's great. I mean, we have, like I said, we have amazing fans and I've talked to a lot of them actually. It's kind of a phenomenon. I mean, it's becoming a culturally iconic show. So it's great to be a part of. I'm really happy.
Well, and I do feel like the finale really opens up the idea of whatever this, Hall of Presidents statue of Kier that can be programmed to say specific things. I mean, that really does open up the possibility for you to be in the present day quite a bit, if someone were to hack it, if Helly gets a hold of whatever is, talking I feel like there could be a lot of fun where we left it that we could. Definitely. I know you can't say anything, but
definitely
there's definitely. Yeah. I also I don't know. I was thinking Righteous Gemstones this season had a big flashback thing to start their season. That could also, I don't know if that's something you've thought about. I'm sure, if you've talked about it, you couldn't say, but yeah, maybe we could see an actual Kier flashback someday.
If I had a wish list, it'd definitely be an origin episode, very similar to the ones that they did for Miss Casey and Miss Cobell. I think there'd be a great origin episode there if they decide to do it. He could appear in a lot of ways. I mean, he could certainly appear in flashbacks or dreams or visions. I mean, a lot of ways he could appear if they choose to do that.
Yeah. I think a flashback for me would be, I would love that because again, I think there's such a, again, we've only ever gotten the Lumon approved version of Kier. So I think a reality of what he was actually would be so interesting.
I would love that
to see. Yeah. Well, what, what else is on your list? Can you say, like, what else is on your wish list of things that you would love to do?
On Severance?
Yeah.
Appear live would be top of my wish list, and kind of origin, flashback thing would be right up there. But whatever they come up with, I mean, I'm happy being a part of the show. So whatever they come up with, I'm more than happy to do.
All right. Well, the last, I think, Severance thing I want to ask you, and I don't know if you can, like, can you break down these tempers for me? What can you explain to me about the tempers? I feel like I don't quite like, as a non-Lumon, like Kier
I don't
follower.
really think I know any more about the tempers than the rest of you do, quite honestly.
Okay.
My response is going to be disappointing on that one. I really don't have too much knowledge there.
They need to be tamed. That's all
they
we're all
need to be
sure
tamed. And they come out in waffle parties. Those are the two things I can tell you.
Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about the waffle party version of Kier.
Waffle party where Dylan wears my head.
Yes, that's got to be weird for you to see. Like it's like almost a mascot version of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I assume it was even stranger for Zach Cherry to sit there wearing my head than it is for me watching it, but who knows?
If only he had done an impression of you, I think would have been fun to hear his version. But I know there's been you've been up to a lot lately. I know that as well that and I did get a chance to watch A Different Man, which you had a fun. You're kind of in the beginning and the end of that, which is the Raggedy Man. Is that the
Ragged Man?
Ragged Man. Yeah.
It's fun because he gets to age 20 years. It's a relatively small role, but a fun role. And the fact that he gets to age 20 years was fun.
Yeah. You do a lot of that. Is interesting. I hadn't thought about the fact that they do like to age you up and age you down in, these projects as well.
I'm a character actor, so I never seem to be the same twice, which I love.
Yeah. But yeah, what was like that was a really good movie that I feel like went a little bit under the radar for whatever reason this year. But
Sebastian Stan won the Golden Globe for it for Best Actor. So we got and we got nominated for an Oscar for the makeup. So it got a couple things. But I think it's a really good film as well. I enjoyed it.
Nice. And what was that? Was that just like a couple days on set for you, or what was that?
Like, I was only on set, I think, for 2 or 3 days. I know we filmed the first scene in one day. I was there 2 or 3 days.
And then I know we talked about too, like that you were in Daredevil, but it seemed like maybe they cut that down a bit, or
they cut it more than down. They cut it out entirely. We suspected they would. About 6 months after I had shot it, which was a long time ago because they shot 2 years at once, so it was probably almost 2 years ago, an article came out that I read that said they had really decided to change the tone. In the article, it said that they were going more for a Disney Plus kind of tone because that's where it was going to air. But then they changed their mind and decided they wanted to be darker and more Marvel-esque. So I always suspected my scene would be cut because my scene was very comic book and very funny. So when it was cut, I was not surprised.
Can you talk about the original scene as it was? Because it was the Latvian scene, right? Like, because I saw you in it.
That's the head of the Latvian Cultural Society, and it's the scene where you see Vincent D'Onofrio get announced and walk in. The doors open, and he walks into a room, and he walks up to a podium, and then it immediately cuts to a Latvian choir singing. In between him walking in and that Latvian choir singing was about 5 more pages in the script, where he did a speech, and then I was introduced to him and I gave him some presents and we talked, but it was all taken. And I introduced that choir. So that's basically what happened.
Yeah. Because I could see you in the wide shot, but then,
the doors open so slightly you can see me in the back.
But what, I mean, one, I imagine that's kind of heartbreaking as a character actor to, you go and do these things and you never know what's going to make it.
Yeah, it's happened before. It's just the nature of the business. The difficult part of it is you don't know until you actually watch it. They don't inform you if it's been taken out. So you're sitting there watching it, and when it gets to that cut where it skips over your scene, you're like, oh. But That's life.
But what was, I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio, like, and that character, the Kingpin character is fun. What was it like to actually get to film with the actual experience
That was
on
great.
set for you?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. He's very tall and I'm not, and he was on a platform. So looking up, talking to him. But it was a fun day.
That I think they make a joke about that in Severance about your height.
They
right?
do, and it wasn't in the script originally. That's an interesting point you brought up. It's the little barb that Milchick does at the wax figure. At one of the rehearsals for the scene, that line was not in there. And afterwards, Ben wanted to take some pictures of me with the mannequin standing next to it and moving with it, that kind of thing. And it was a lot taller than me, like at least 5 inches. And I was getting like way up on my toes so I could try to get the head in the same general area. And I turned to Ben and I was like, why is this wax figure 5 inches taller than me? And when I came back the next day, there it was in the script.
That's that's great. I also want to see photos of you and the wax figure together for sure.
I have to get some. I don't have them. I know Ben has them, so I'm going to have to ask for one. I've never, even though I've stood next to it many a time, I've never taken out my phone and taken a picture of myself with
it. Well, what else is on the horizon for you? Is there anything else coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm working on a couple things that I can't talk about because I have all sorts of NDAs for them. So I can't talk about them. And aside from that, I'm just auditioning for other things that I'm waiting to hear about and seeing what happens.
Yeah. I mean, how I know, like, it seems rough out there for actors, and I'm always really sympathetic for actors. It's a tough life. But how do you feel in general? I mean, like, obviously this is a big show, like, you know, but the industry itself is struggling a lot. Like, do you feel optimistic overall, or how are you feeling?
Yeah, I definitely feel optimistic. From about October until about 3 weeks ago, it was very, very slow for me in terms of auditions in general. But in the last 3 weeks, it's really picked up. So I think everything's coming back now, at least for me.
Do you have, what is the specific, I mean, because like with your look and everything, what is the normal call that you get sent to? Or is there like a, you know, like a kind of stock of characters? None
of this is permanent. I mean, I don't mind getting rid of the beard. I don't mind cutting my hair. I don't mind being clean shaven, whatever they want. It's just easier to keep this until they don't want it. However, that being said, to answer your question, when I do look like this, I kind of have 3 options. I can play a homeless person, I can play a rabbi, and I can play a homeless rabbi. My options.
Which, in the range of a different man, Daredevil, like, I think we did actually get all those in there.
I played other homeless people too. I played a homeless guy on the Eric Andre show. I played a homeless guy in Different Man. I think I have a third one. I can't remember what it is, but I've done the whole homeless guy thing. So I think the beard is going to go soon. I think it might go down to a very short beard very soon. I'm just waiting to hear about some things that I've already auditioned for, so I can't really change my appearance until I know what's going on there.
What was it like doing the Eric Andre show? Because, I mean, the show to watch seems unhinged, so I don't know.
It was a lot of fun. I had never heard of the Eric Andre show prior to auditioning for it. It was a lot of fun. Eric Andre is very, very nice. My sketch was with him. It was a sketch. One of those, you know, hidden camera punking someone kind of sketches. Eric was great to work with. Everyone treated me very, very well. It was a fun day. I enjoyed it.
Nice. I mean, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he seems fearless, like in the
I tried to go for it too. So it's a pretty fearless sketch.
Nice. Was there anything else I haven't asked you about that you want to mention, or?
Nothing that I can think of offhand. No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
All right.
Let's just keep pushing your idea for some nice flashbacks on Severance and a nice origin. Things will be good.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I can't be the only fan of the show who wants to see that.
People.
Yeah.
It seems to be a popular thing that people would like to see, but it all depends what Dan Erickson and Ben Stiller decide they want to see. So we shall see.
Well, I do. If we can do one more thing before you go too, I do have someone here that I want to know if you see the fire of Kier inside of her. So
it's going to be an animal. I know it's going to be an animal, and I'm going to love it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I had a
yeah.
I had a pug for 15 years.
Yeah, you were sending me photos of your pug.
Right?
Yeah. So I wanted you to see Jolene.
Oh,
Jolene.
Bring her back. I want to see her face.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
We're on camera.
So you can. Yeah. Let me. Jolene, you gotta look in the camera. Here, hold on. Let me.
Look in the camera.
Of course not. Jolene.
He says no, not today. How old is she?
We think she's about 10. She was a rescue, so not entirely sure, but 10 is the best guess.
She's so cute.
Yeah. No, I wanted to make sure you got.
I definitely see the fire of Kier in her.
Okay, good.
She turned away from the camera and was disinterested.
Yeah. Did not want to participate at all. So that's how you know. Well, thanks so much.
Kier, chosen one, Kier. Kier, brilliant one, Kier. Brings the bounty to the plain, through the torment, through the rains. Progress, knowledge, show no fear.